everyone.
And welcome to NUSU Talks.
My name is Carter.
And I'm Ryland.
And today, as you can tell, we have a little bit of a different background going on today, but that's okay because the vibes are going to be just as good. Yeah. We have some very exciting guests today. We have Ruthie and Rebecca, the co-presidents of the Nipissing Canadore Christian Fellowship. Thank you for coming. We're so excited.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us, yeah.
So to start off, we kind of always just kind of get a set of the stage of what the group is like, how they function, like what the goals are, like how everything is like looks on a week-to-week basis, things like that. So can you tell us a little bit about the fellowship?
Yeah, of course. So basically, we are the Nipissing Canadore Christian Fellowship. Our executive team is comprised of 7 specific roles. So we have the president, the vice president, I'm probably going to miss some of these, you'll have to help me out. President, vice president, worship coordinator, prayer coordinator, men's ministry, women's ministry. Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
There we go. 7. So those are our specific roles. Oh, I forgot outreach.
Well,
I counted 7, but we also have an outreach coordinator, just not a specific one this year. And yeah, basically we are a community of students who get together and we plan lots of events, and a lot of our members are Christians or have a faith-based background, but we also welcome anyone who wants to come to any of our events.
That's amazing. So I think I might have made a mistake then when I said co-presidents.
We are co-presidents.
Okay.
This year our executive team looks a little bit different because there's only 5 of us instead of 7.
Okay.
So we share the co-president role, and then she's also women's ministry, and I'm also vice president.
Okay.
So
how does that work with like elections? Do you guys go through the election process, or is it just kind of chosen?
It's a little different than the regular student groups. So every year we allow anyone within like who's come to events to nominate anyone else for all the positions, and then we go through like an interview process with past executive members, so people who have been in the fellowship before on the executive roles, and also with an InterVarsity staff worker who works for university, which we'll talk about later, but we're affiliated with them. And then so we have like people from lots of different years who have been part of the fellowship for a long time, and they conduct these interviews with all the people who want to be elected for a role, and then they go through it, and usually by the end of the interview process there's only a few people left who want to be a part of the team, and then we make up the team based on those people. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow. And if a student was like interested in just getting involved with the fellowship, like what ways would you suggest are the best ways to get involved with the fellowship? Like, is it through your events?
I would say definitely through our events. I always point people towards our social media because personally I love to kind of know what I'm getting into when I see an event that I'm interested in. So this year we haven't had as much activity on our social media because our outreach coordinator, there's not really a position for that this year. Next year we will have one, but yeah, I always point people towards the social media, and then also if they join our email list, we send out weekly emails of what's going on throughout the week, which is a really good resource to kind of know what's happening.
Yeah.
And then, our Friday night events are probably the most like versatile, I guess you could say. A lot of people are interested in the different fun things that we do, because we do a wide range of things from, for example, a super fun event we just did was our murder mystery night, and we had like people acting and you had to investigate, and it was so fun. And then we also do more faith-based events on Friday nights, like prayer nights and worship nights. So there's definitely a wide range for people to feel comfortable at.
Yeah.
That actually kind of follows in with what I'm about to ask you. Like, where does the inspiration for all these events come from? Because you host so many events all the time. So how do you keep generating all of these?
So our Friday night events every week that we do those every week, and our whole executive team just comes up with ideas together. So at the start of the year we sat down and we were like, what would be fun? What do we think that our group and anyone who's new would enjoy coming to? And then we kind of just made out a schedule of things that we enjoyed and thought would be exciting and fun and new. And then there's also sometimes traditional events. So like every year we have a girls versus guys cook-off, and every year we have like a spring formal and a winter formal. And so we put those into that are kind of our traditional like yearly events. And then as for our other events throughout the week, so we have different roles that organize those. So the women's and men's Bible studies are organized by the women's and men's ministry coordinators, and those happen every week on Mondays. And then our like morning groups, so we have like devotional times in the cafeteria at 7:30 every morning, and those ones are overseen by the prayer coordinator. But it's cool because we have support from so many different people that there's other people within the fellowship who are like, yeah, I would love to run a devotional.
And
so then it's not
every
on
day?
us. Yeah.
Like 7:30 every day?
Monday to Thursday.
Okay.
Yes.
Most years we do
Most.
have Monday to Friday, but this year it's Monday to Thursday.
Yeah, that's still very much
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, like insanely impressive that there's just so much going on with the
even
fellowship.
like with me, because I run the Women in Supports Honor Alliance, I struggle to host events all the time like that.
Yeah.
So I give you the props to doing that. 'Cause that's a lot of work.
that's like
It definitely
incredible.
is busy, but in the most fun way ever.
Yeah.
Like, we have so much fun at our meetings planning the events. We have so much fun running the events,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we hear feedback that everyone enjoys them when they come,
good.
so that's really encouraging.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's definitely worth it, yeah.
And on
Yeah.
top of all of these events, you also have merch that you sell, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, who designs it?
Every year it's different.
Yeah.
So it's basically like one person on the exec who enjoys that or has a strength in that, kind of steps up and takes that role. This year I designed the merch just because I found an interest in that, and I like being creative in that way. But yeah, it's super cool that we get to do that every year,
Yeah,
and
that's
people
amazing.
enjoy to have that kind of represent a community that they've been a part of.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. And kind of speaking of events, like in the upcoming future, is there anything like that you guys have planned, or like especially like Easter's coming up? Is there anything that you have that you want to tell us about if you have any?
Yeah, I mean, we have obviously events like every week, like
Yeah.
you were saying, but so this Friday we're doing like a girls and guys night separate, so I don't know what the guys are doing, but the girls are doing crafts and hanging out and having snacks and stuff.
Fun.
And then kind of Easter related, we're doing a spring formal.
Okay.
That's on the 29th.
Yeah, the 29th. It's a Sunday.
On a
Okay.
Sunday, yeah. And so we're doing like a sit-down meal, and everyone's coming, and we'll have some time for worship and some time, like a speaker will come, but also we'll like have fun. We'll eat the home-cooked meal, and we'll have like a dance after, and we'll play games and things like that.
What does it mean, and this is maybe for people who might not know,
Yeah.
what does it mean to like worship?
That's a good question. Yeah. Like worship really just means like telling God that we love him. So you can do that lots of different ways. But when I say that, I mean like singing worship. So
Okay.
often we'll
Okay.
sing, like you might have heard like Amazing Grace or
Yeah.
songs like that. But there's so many songs like that that like speak about who God is and who we are and who we believe him to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And where is this usually hosted?
Yeah.
So our formals are often at a local church.
Okay.
It's pretty close to the school, which is really helpful. And then also there's a lot of people within the church who just volunteer their time to cook the meal and to serve us
Yeah.
and just host the event, which is so incredible that we have that connection and we get to do
Yeah.
that.
Is it the one on Tackaberry?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah.
Yes. I know the area because I live by
Yeah.
there, so I wasn't sure if that was
Yeah.
the one you were referring
Yeah.
to.
It must be nice to like have those connections
Oh, it's
into
so
like the
nice.
actual city itself, and not
Yeah.
just like on campus, because it opens up more opportunities.
Yeah, of course. Like, we have so many events, obviously, and so we do lots at the school, which is really amazing that we get to do that here, and even at NUSU too. But then also we do them at churches all throughout the city, and it's so cool to have those connections and have those churches not only to do our events at, but also to support us in other ways, like through prayer, or even just like kind of knowing that we're a thing and letting the young adults in their church know that, and other people throughout the community. So
Yeah,
That's
that's really
amazing.
great. Yeah.
I know we're talking about worship, so you just had, and I saw this on Instagram, so this is another reason why I'm bringing it up. You just had your worship night
Yeah.
here the other day, correct? And it
Yes.
was it partnered with New Base? Or were they just attending as well?
No, yeah. Simba was the drummer.
Yes.
Okay.
So he was the drummer for the band, and they were kind of hosting because a bunch of them were there as well.
Yeah.
But, we had our worship night here, which was really cool.
it was so fun and
it
so
was
good.
awesome. We had like around 100 people attend,
Okay,
even
yeah.
on a
Wow.
snowstorm day, which was
That's
very
incredible.
cool.
Yeah.
And
You guys posted everywhere about this. Like, this is like a citywide thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So speaking of our connections with other churches, it was
Yep.
very cool to partner with different churches and young adults groups like throughout the city, and
Yep.
we invited all of them, and we asked a couple pastors to come and be like prayer people throughout the night, and then we also asked like one church just like totally volunteered their whole team to be to put together a worship team, so then we didn't even have to do the music, and it was just very cool to see so many people come together and invite so many people. And there's lots of people who don't often attend NCCF, but they wanted to come out because it was like a citywide thing, which was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
What else did the night entail besides like the worship? Is it just like a mingling event, or?
Yeah, so basically people arrived and we did an icebreaker to start off the night. You know, the classic like bingo card where you have to find someone who, for example, likes skating or whatever, you know. We had a whole bingo card, so they did that. And then we opened the night in prayer, we did some worship songs, and then took a break and did some prayer time. So just put some prayer prompts on the screen, kind of things that people could pray about and pray for each other and that sort of thing. And then continued on with the worship, and there was also like coffee and snacks
This is
and
beautiful.
stuff throughout the night.
This is such a
It really
great
is.
community.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I love that. And that kind of leads into like what I was just going to ask you about, but like what has like the presence of NCCF had like on your lives specifically as the co-presidents? Like you were just talking about like all these amazing things you're doing and like this established community of like shared faith and everything. Like how does that impact you on a personal level?
Yeah, sorry, in so many ways, like it's such an amazing community. I would say that the first 2 years at Nipissing, I wasn't super involved with NCCF. I knew about it. I grew up in North Bay, and all my siblings went here, and they were involved with NCCF.
You grew up here?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, so
yeah.
did I. That's good. It's a small world.
Yeah, exactly. But so I knew a lot about it,
Yeah.
but I just wasn't super involved my first 2 years, and then third year, now I just, was super involved kind of thing. And it's just such a great community,
Yeah.
and like you basically show up and you have like a family, and it's
Yeah.
so amazing. Like regardless of where you came from or what your background is or who you are or who you know, like you just come and show up and you have fun, and everyone just is so welcoming.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's definitely been super impactful, especially like the smaller group activities like women's Bible study. That's been one of my favorite things about NCCF, is just getting together with other women, and we laugh and we have fun and we talk about Jesus, which is really cool. And yeah, it's just amazing.
Do you find that, I don't want this to be worded inappropriately, since you were younger, do you think that being in university and having this community has helped grow your faith since, like, maybe practicing when you were younger? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. For me personally, I would say it's definitely helped grow my faith for
Yeah.
sure. It's a community of people who just encourage each
Yeah.
other. And for example, like I was saying, Bible study, that's just a place where we can learn more about God. And it's so cool. And just even the atmosphere of events, whether it be a fun event like the Amazing Race event that we hosted at the beginning of the semester, or it's a worship event, like all of those things, I feel like just you feel encouraged,
Yeah.
basically. So
Yeah, and I think for a lot of people, when you move away from home, you have to decide, like, do I want to keep going to church, or do I want to do things like that? And so for me, having NCCF, when I moved to North Bay, I knew one person total in North Bay, and so it was really cool being able to get involved with NCCF, and then that really encouraged me to keep going to church and to keep learning and growing with God and learning about Him, and then also to have a community of people that it was like my family. When
Yeah.
my family wasn't here,
Yeah.
that I could have people who were my support group and who had the same beliefs as me was really cool.
That's amazing.
And I think like it's important that like obviously being students, it can be hard to like make time to like like practice your faith or even just do things that like you want to do like for fun or something. So I feel like NCCF was like a great opportunity for students who like are living these busy lives to like still be able to have like faith in their life and be able to like have a community of people who like just want to like do that, like, you know what I mean, like they just because it can be hard to like find those times to like have a life outside of being a student, but I think
course, yeah.
groups like this really make it
Yeah.
a great opportunity for students to do that as
yeah,
well.
and that's like our goal in general, is just like having those events so that people can show up and
Yeah.
they can have fun, but then also grow in their faith and encourage one another and have that community. And so that's part of the reason we have so many events,
Yeah.
because oftentimes you're busy and you can't make an event that you want to go to. So, you know, if we have so many throughout the school year, it's like you've got options when
Yeah.
you are free, or you make
Yeah.
time to be there. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Can you talk a little bit about when the Christian Fellowship started and like how it's changed over the years and grown?
Yeah. I mean, we weren't there when it started.
It's been going on.
It's been going on from what we know of since the 90s. Like, we're not sure exactly when, but
The 90s.
Yeah.
That's the Nipissing Canadore Christian Fellowship.
Yeah, so there was a group of students who came together and they were like, we want to put together a group of Christians at Nipissing. And so they reached out to InterVarsity, who they have a bunch of campus groups all over the world. And so they were like, hey, can we be affiliated with you, but we just want to start our own group? And they said, yeah. And so I'm not really sure. It's just kept going since then. But
That's
yeah, it's
That's
really
like-
cool.
It's been like 30-something years.
That's actually incredible.
Yeah.
Has to be one of like the
I was gonna
longest
say the
groups that's been around Nipissing
campus.
Canadore.
Wow.
Wow,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Like that's
Yeah.
amazing.
No,
I was expecting like maybe 2015.
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
how do you think, or from what you know, how has it changed over the years? Or has
That's
it stayed the same because you guys have such a close-knit community?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it definitely has changed over the years. Like, as new exec comes in,
Yeah.
you have new ideas and
Yeah.
you know, establish new ways of doing things, which I think is really cool. But for the most part, probably the structure of it has stayed pretty similar, and the goal, which
Yeah.
is like the most important part of it. But that has probably stayed pretty
Consistent.
steady. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is good.
Okay, so kind of like rounding out our conversation today, we do like this little segment at the end that's called NUSU Lets You Talk. So basically we just give you the floor to say anything you'd like, leave a message with anyone who might be watching, and yeah, anything you want to say.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot.
Yeah, this is a great
You had
discussion.
some really good questions, so thank you for that. But personally, I feel like I would like to say to people that if you have a single thought about coming out to an NCCF event, but you're unsure, do it, because I don't know anyone who's ever regretted coming out to an event. Most people have so much fun, and especially with the variety of things that we do, there's so many opportunities to do something that you're interested in. So yeah, just take that step, and I know it can be a little bit scary based on the size of our group, but definitely do it. Like, take the step and come out to an event. So,
Yeah.
do you have anything?
I feel like we've covered a lot. I can't think of anything else.
I actually have one more question.
Okay.
I
love it.
What would you tell, just before we end the segment, what would you tell someone who's maybe questioning their faith? And, because I personally grew up going to Catholic school, but that's just something like I've struggled with in my life. So maybe to any other students that are questioning their faith or feel a little bit lost, like what would you tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
what
a
would you
great
say?
question.
That's a really good question. My answer would be, don't just sit there, like do something with it.
Yeah.
Either ask the questions to someone that you know who like could help maybe you work through it. Maybe like attend something, come out to NCCF or a different group that maybe can answer your questions. And then also like talk to God about it. I think that God can stand up to all of our questions, and so I think the biggest thing is to talk to God about it and talk to other people about it, because we've all had questions, we've all had doubts in our lives, and it's not something that's unique to one person, and so to know that you're not alone in that is a beautiful thing.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
answer.
I do think, like, in university, it's definitely a time of searching. Like, so many people are asking questions about life and what does all this mean and why am I here and all that stuff. And so I think, ask questions for sure. Don't just be curious and do nothing about it. I mean, as students, we know that. We learn to ask questions. That is why we're here, to learn. And so I think, like, having the opportunity to also use that in our spiritual lives as well, and not just academic-wise, that's such a cool opportunity. And there's so many resources, not even just NCCF, but elsewhere in North Bay and other stuff like that. So yeah, definitely ask questions for sure.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. This is such a cool opportunity. I'm so glad you guys are doing this.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're so happy that you agreed to be here and
Yes.
that you are spreading this message to everyone on campus, and you're so welcoming in your community, no matter where people are in their journey, and it's a very beautiful thing. So thank you so much for
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, it's a very, very special group.
Yeah.
And I loved learning more about it, and I hope that anyone who might not know much about NCCF learns something from what you guys shared today. So thank you so much. Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.